You have time, go get your coffee for GHC Coffee Break. Joining me today are two of my former students from Georgia Highlands College. Get your coffee and we'll be right back.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are the #1 killer of children 1 through 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
Welcome back to GHC Coffee Break. I am very excited to have two of my former students and now friends and colleagues join me. Y'all both graduated from Georgia Highlands College. This is Tamara Bennett now. It was Pierce back in the day.
Back in the day.
And Courtney Holcomb Clay, Holcomb back in the day. But Courtney, they both graduated in the 2005 and 7, I believe. And now they are working for Pruitt Health Care of Rome. And we're really excited to have you here this morning. February is Independent Senior Awareness. And it's really, I think that we sometimes negate and forget what an asset our seniors are to us, and letting them be as independent as long as possible. But when they do need that place to go, where they can no longer be independent totally, that there's some really good places here located right here in Rome. So I was really excited. I actually got to come out and visit you guys not too long ago, Courtney.
Yes, that's correct. You came out and did a Native American dance and kind of taught our residents some about Native Americans in the month of November. They really enjoyed that, so thank you for coming.
Well, they were a lot of fun, and it was interesting because even after the session, or whatever you want to call it, was over, had a lot of questions and a lot of comments of, oh, my great-grandmama was Native American, and this is some of the things, oh, I want to learn how to dance. There was one lady that's wanting to learn. She never contacted me.
Yes, they enjoyed that so much, and I think for them it was important to have somebody, come in from the outside and share things with them and help increase their knowledge, because you're never too old to learn.
Oh, absolutely. And Tamara, I know that, of course, it was great to see you there. We were surprised. I didn't realize you had worked at the same place, and I was like, "There's Tamara." So it was really good to have you, to see you there.
Thank you. It was good to see you too.
Well, Tamara, let's start with you. I'm going to come back to you, Courtney,
Sure.
but let's start with you for a moment. Tell us a little bit about the Pruitt Healthcare of Rome.
We do have several facilities around Georgia. Of course, ours here in Rome. We are a 100-bed facility, and we cater to, of course, we have our Alzheimer's, and we cater to our families who are in need, who need to put their loved one in a place where they know that they're going to be taken care of, who, like you have mentioned, they don't have the same independence that they did before.
Right.
Unfortunately, it does get to that point, but we are very proud of our facility. We're very, very proud of our employees there. We love our residents, go above and beyond for our residents, and especially with Courtney with our activities department, but not just with her, but with everybody there, from our nurses, our CNAs, management, housekeeping. Everybody goes above and beyond for our residents. We are a 5-star facility. That is something that we are very proud of. But we just try to do what we can to be there for our families and our residents.
And when I visited, I was very impressed and appreciative of the site itself. I like where it was located, and it just felt like I was not just right downtown and in the middle of a lot of busyness.
Right.
So, well, Courtney, and we'll come back and forth, and feel to chime in when either one of you are talking about something that you feel passionate about. Courtney, I think one of the things that for human services, to come into the field of working with the the elderly. A lot of times, you don't even realize you want to work with people, the older generation, until when you get there, how amazing they are.
That's so true. It's a wonderful population. I lost my grandparents at a fairly young age, and so I don't think I fully appreciated what the elderly do have to offer us. And I enjoy so much just listening to them and letting them tell their story, because that's very important to them at this stage in their life. They want to leave a legacy, and they want someone to know what they've done, and it helps them to feel important and wanted.
And I think it takes a very, very special type of person to work in a nursing home and be around these people. And I hate that some nursing homes have such a stigma about them, but I feel like if people would just give it a chance, come and visit the nursing home, come visit these people who have lived amazing lives and have seen so much more than we have seen. And just to gain that knowledge and know what they've done, it really is amazing. And they are some of the most amazing people you can meet. And we love our residents. And it's not just with Pruitt, it's any of the nursing homes.
Right,
You know,
right.
I think anybody needs to try to just give it a chance, you know, especially with, you know, doing volunteer work and again with intern, just anything, just give it a chance and come try to talk to these people and see what kind of life they live, because it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing to talk to them and be around them.
Just to listen to, you know, and that's part of their, to me, part of their independence is to be able to tell their story, even if they cannot walk any longer. You know, they're in a wheelchair, or they're having to use canes or crutches or whatever, not crutches, but walkers or whatever. You know, I think that they still have value, and I think they themselves sometimes fear that they're losing value because they can't be as independent as they were before.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, Courtney did this amazing thing for Veterans Day with our residents, because we have several veterans, and just to hear their stories about being, you know, in the Army and the war, and to see their pictures was absolutely amazing. And again, just to see what they came from, you know, it's amazing. But you know, but they need that support, and they need that trust and that love, not just from family members or staff, but just from our community. They really do.
Very true.
And I think that's one of the things, you know, obviously this is a Georgia Highlands GHCTV, but bottom line is it is for the community. This is not just Georgia Highlands students, faculty, and staff watching. There's a lot of people out in the community. There's one particular lady I know watches it, Miss Gwen, and so hopefully she's watching today, and she knows that I care about her. I actually got to meet her, and she's a really sweet, wonderful woman. But you know, for our community to be aware of volunteer opportunities, how they can help seniors become more independent, even if they're not actually in a nursing home, before they get to that place where they have to go into a assisted living or nursing care facility.
Right, we're fortunate that our community is able to offer services to senior citizens. There's several organizations out there in Rome that you can get involved with to help out, not just the nursing home population, but those elders that are still at home and trying to be independent. They still need things. So the Area Agency on Aging is a great resource that we have here that can help them out and provide things that they need to maintain independence at home. So, and the financial burden on the elderly can be quite a task as well. So they're able to assist with some of those things as well.
And even knowing what to plan for. I'm kind of in that generation right now where my mom, she had a stroke. Well, she's had several strokes now, but the last stroke, she can't drive anymore. And that is a huge piece of independence that she's lost. Yes. My stepdad, is blind, so obviously he can't drive. So they're really having to learn over the last few years. Now, my stepdad Terry, he's much more adapt because he is that degenerative retinitis, I think, that when time he was 18 and in his early 20s, he was starting to have to be more reliant on asking people. He's still very independent. This man plays the guitar. He can, if you read to him something, he can put stuff together. He built a whole railing system at my mom's house. Amazing. Uses a saw, a table saw. Scares the flip out of me. But, you know, I'm thinking, you're going to cut your fingers off. He knows what he's doing. I would cut my fingers off, and I can see. but you know, that whole, as independent as he is, and Mom not being able to drive, it's really hard. And so I'm the closest relative, basically. And luckily, they do have some good friends that help out. But if I wasn't there, if those good friends weren't there, they would probably be really in a situation where they would need to be in a home, or at least having some additional supports.
Right.
So yeah, I'm really starting to see that even more, you know, with my own family.
And you know the thing about it though, is having a good support system is huge, because not only can it be scary for the family member that is having to go into the nursing home because they are losing their independence, it's also scary for the family, you know, and to have all this on one family member, I mean, we see it, me and Courtney see it every day. It does get stressful. They do worry about the financial burden and day-to-day things, you know, and what they're taking out of their lives and from their homes also to care for their loved one. So that is why it's so good to have such a good support system, not just with family, but with friends and your community, because it's very important. Like I said, you know, you're dealing with that with your mother, and of course, you know, dealing with that with my mom, and thank God I have my sisters who are there to help support us and be there for us to help us take care of her.
Yeah, and my sister, it's not that she doesn't want, but for her, she's more like 40 minutes away where I'm 5.
Right.
And
Right.
so it makes a difference. And they have a good, like you said, family and church support system. So that helps. But I can see it in my mom. Sometimes she gets so depressed when she says, I'm sorry to bother you, but we need to go to the grocery store. And going to the grocery store is no 5-minute deal. I don't care if you're there for one item. It takes a while.
It takes a while.
So, you know, and they thank me for it. And I'm like, Mom, you don't have to thank me for it. Look what you did for me as a child. I mean, you did a lot more worse than what I had to do.
Right.
Clean up a lot worse. You know, so, but for them to say thank you, it almost hurts, because it's like, but I do this because I love you.
Exactly.
But I can tell how hard it is for her, the independence that she feels. And she doesn't like to feel dependent on someone else.
Right. No one wants to feel like a burden, and unfortunately, that is a very common emotion and feeling that the elderly have, is that they are a burden, not only to their family, but just to society in general, that they're no longer needed. And that's not true. Nothing could be further from the truth.
Right.
So it is important, you know, just as you said, just to reinforce, I'm doing this for you, I love you, and I want to help you. And that kind of support is what they need to hear.
Yeah, and I think it's really important too. I have had the experience with, I was technically blind for 2 days because I had cornea scratches. And I can remember what it felt like to go to a friend's house to eat. Okay, I was taught, don't take the last whatever's sitting there, piece of bacon, pork chop, whatever. Well, I couldn't see if it was the last one. So I'm sitting there eating, and I finished with my part of my food, and I'm going, okay, is there anything else should I ask for? I would really like a little bit more of those beans, but I didn't ask. And one of the girls said, would you like another pork chop? And I said, well, is there enough? Oh, yeah, you know. But that feeling of dependence on something so little of wow, you know, I can't even, etiquette, you know, social etiquette, I can't even do that because I'm having to be dependent. And I was young. I mean, I was lucky, and it was only a couple of days. But to even have that glimpse of dependence. So I can only imagine that was temporary.
Right.
Right.
And how hard it had to be on you know, being much more longer term, I guess. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So
Right.
it just really, in my heart, I love work. I've worked in nursing homes off and on, or volunteered, and ever since I was a kid, and I loved it. So I don't think, but we have but a few seconds left in this segment, so we're going to take a break, and well, actually, we have a little bit more time. Sorry, I got miscued there on myself. My bad. But I don't know. Sometimes, you know, when you get to talking, you're afraid you're going over, and it's
Too long.
boom. But, you know, Courtney, you've been at the worked with the elderly for quite a while now.
I have. I've been in the nursing home setting for almost 10 years now, so I have seen and experienced a lot of the elderly population, what they go through. I've worked in social services mainly, so activities is a little new for me, a new experience, but I will say that it's been both heart-wrenching and heartwarming at the same time to go through this trial with them and help them to adjust to a new way of life, and that's really what it ends up being.
That's exactly right. So, well, we'll be right back. Go get your coffee with GHC Coffee Break.
My college offers classes that meet my educational and career goals.
with opportunities outside of the classroom.
where the faculty know me by name.
My college can prepare me for my career.
I can earn an associate's degree and transfer credits to a bachelor's.
My college is a state college within the University System of Georgia.
My college offers courses that fit my schedule.
It's where excellence begins.
We are.
We are.
We are
We are GHC, Georgia Highlands College.
Welcome back to GHC Coffee Break. Again, thank you, Courtney and Tamara, for joining me. Because I have, and again, I guess it puts it really more than theory now, because I have been working more handily with my parents. The importance of that independence and allowing my mom and Terry to have as much independence as possible. Because sometimes I actually get onto my mother, because she'll do something for Terry. Well, he can't see that she's done it, and you know it's frustrating for him, and he needs to be as independent because he can be. Mm-hmm. But sometimes she'll find herself wanting to do for him. Mm-hmm. I think that gives her some satisfaction, because there's some things that she can no longer do for herself.
Right, and that can be part of how we partner with them when they come into our facility, is to allow them to help others, to feel like they're still needed and wanted. And so, just as you were saying, it helps her kind of fill a void and help her to feel like she's helping him. We can do similar things at the facility as well, similar to that.
So what are some of the kind of things that you do for your residents that help them be as independent as long as possible?
Well, first things first, communication is probably one of the most important pieces of coming into a facility. We have to have a dialogue with the family and with the resident about what their expectations are. And then from there, because we have such a great interdisciplinary team, we can kind of come up with ways that we can facilitate and help them to adjust to the facility. So part of that, of course, is going through therapy most of the times, help them build their strength, and we really try to build upon what they are able to do where they're at now, to try to get them back to a more independent level. So once we are able to accomplish that, then that opens the door for all kinds of things. Allows them to do more for themselves, allows them to participate more readily in activities, and just be a part of the organization that we have.
And I think that's one of the things too with a lot of times the misconception of nursing homes is that that's it. I'm just gonna sit in a chair and whatever.
Right, right.
Nobody. I'm not needed. I'm not wanted. It's a place to die. Right.
And that is a very common misconception that we fight on a daily basis, not only with the residents, but with the families as well. A lot of families do lose hope when they get to that point, no one ever really wants to cross that bridge and put mom or dad or a loved one into a nursing home, but it happens. You can't always provide them with everything that they need, and they can't always be independent. So we do fight that daily and try to encourage and support and entertain to help them, get past that initial stigma of a nursing home.
Yeah, and I know that that's something that you've had to deal with, Tamara, is trying to realize that, it's not the where all to end all, but at the same time, it's that support that when they can't live alone because of various reasons.
Right. And it is, because going through the same situation that several families are going through, it's hard, and it's heart-wrenching to see someone who has taken care of you your whole entire life that you are taking care of now. And that's one thing also that I really, really want the community to be more educated on also and aware on is the importance of knowing about Alzheimer's and dementia.
Yeah.
That is very, very important, because again, just to see it, what Courtney and I witness every day, it is heart-wrenching. But again, it doesn't mean that this is it for them. Like Courtney mentioned, we have an amazing therapy team. They are beyond amazing. And they work so good with our residents to try to get them back to where they need to be, even if they are staying in the nursing home permanently. As long as they can get them back to where they need to be, or get them back to where they can go back to an assisted living home, or eventually even go home and be at home on home health. But it's hard, but it makes you tough, and you just know that you are doing what you need to for your loved one. It hurts because, again, me and my other two sisters witness it almost on a daily basis with our mother, and it's heart-wrenching, but we know that she's in the best place that she can be. She receives the best care she can, and she has come along so much better off than what she would be if she was at home. There's no way. But she's gotten a lot better. But
and I know your mom, and she's awesome. I got to visit with her when I came out. And
she is. She's an awesome woman, and I love her, and I'm proud of her. But like I said, just with her situation, that's why I really feel the need that it's important that the community knows about Alzheimer's and dementia and be educated more on it, and how it really does affect the human mind and the body. Because again, like I said, Courtney and I have witnessed it from the very beginning to the very end. Our nursing staff is amazing. They deal with it every day too, and they see it every day, and all we can do is just be there for our family members and our residents, and just love them and do everything we can for them.
And I think you just, one of the things you said, and you and I both can feel that emotion coming up, and that's okay. I usually have tissue for all my show now, like in my classes. But the love, the communication, what do you hope to get out of this? What do you need? What do you want? Keeping our family members safe.
Yes.
Get to a point where they're not safe. And I've actually had that conversation with my mom and Terry. I call him Terry Bear because it's not my daddy, but I want to give him that love too. Yeah. So Terry Bear. But I told him, I said, at some point, if I can, or y'all need, there's great places, and it doesn't mean that you're an invalid now, or that you're dying. It just means that you need that assisted care, and that's okay. But it's still, even if they know it up here, when it really touches, a lot of times we can talk about this all day, but if it has not touched your life, it's hard to even begin to imagine.
It is.
So true.
And that's why I think it's really great to get in there, and you would be amazed how funny. Some of them have a sense of humor that's to knock you better than Jay Leno, okay? It's like, are you sure you're not a stand-up comedian, or should have been, or in your past life or something, So yeah, those kind of stories are just, that to me is independence as much as being able to drive my car.
Absolutely, and we just try to encourage that. A lot of times when they come to us, they've suffered, a stroke, or they've been paralyzed somehow, and they may not be able to do the things that they've always loved to do. Hobbies, can fall by the wayside if they aren't able to move their hands the way that they used to in order to fish or sew. Their eyesight may not be good anymore, so building their independence back may involve, introducing them to new things. And that can be hard when you've been used to doing something a certain way your whole life, and now we're trying to teach you something different. It can be difficult. But again, the support from family and from loving staff can really go a long way.
And from activities, and like you said, I saw residents come up and to the office when I was there, and they were chatting. And my daughter actually works in a it's a nursing home, a rehabilitation center in Carrollton, and she'll have to. They have their bank, and get money. So letting them be that, like you said, money. They get money out of their own little bank that they have, so that they can go on trips and do things that they would have done if they were at home.
Right, and that's very important to everybody that's involved in skilled nursing care, nursing home care. You want to try to make it feel like home as much as possible. Unfortunately, it will never be home, but we try very hard to make them comfortable and provide them with the things that they need to feel like they're still as independent as possible, still able to control as much as they can possibly control. So having a bank, we have beauty shops, things like that, so that they can still feel like they're in control.
Yeah, I think that's important. The beauty shops and those days. I can't help but think of fried green tomatoes as soon as you said beauty shops. I'm sorry if y'all have never seen fried green tomatoes, but I think you both have.
Hair, yes.
The hair. She's done such a good job. The student from the beauty college came over. But and that is actually a very good movie to show and demonstrate how wonderful it is to age and to still contribute and be a very important part of life. I always thought, gosh, I wish I was Kathy Bates. I wish.
Great character.
Great, awesome character. Yes. And so was. We never really know, but Idgie, if she was, somehow she was. Yeah, what really happened. So and again, the stories. I think that's.
But one thing also, and I know I keep on bragging on Courtney, I got to, because she's awesome. But one thing that she does also is that she has music playing in the background in the activities room, and it's music from their generation. And just to watch them enjoy it and listen to it, because if you think about it, it just takes them back to when they were our age.
Yes.
And imagine what they were doing at that time.
Ragtime.
Yes, exactly.
Swing dancing.
Exactly. So it's good to still just have them in, have those memories for them and just be there for them.
Absolutely.
Well, our time, unfortunately, is zipped away from us. I really appreciate you guys coming. Get your coffee. We'll be right back with GHC Coffee Break.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome back to GHC Coffee Break. My coffee cup is almost empty. Which also means my heart's almost empty. I really appreciate you guys coming and joining me today on GHC Coffee Break. I think it's awesome what you're doing. I'm proud of you personally and professionally. And just want to say thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having us. We enjoyed this.
Yeah, thank you for everything.
Well, thank you. And just as a reminder, if you have a topic you would like for me to bring in on GHC Coffee Break, email me at claxton@highlands.edu. That's SCLAXTON at Highlands, HIGHLANDS.edu. Until next time on GHC Coffee Break.